Wilt Chamberlain, 100 points in a game. March 2nd, 1962. Hershey, Pennsylvania. A random gym, no TV broadcast, barely 4,000 fans in attendance. Yet this night became the most legendary in basketball history. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a single NBA game. Just pause for a second. 100. That's not basketball. That's a video game on rookie difficulty. That's a kid with a broken controller spamming dunk animations. Wilt didn't just score 100, he did it with ruthless efficiency. He went 36 of 63 from the field and, the real miracle, 28 of 32 from the free throw line. This is a guy who was a career 51% free throw shooter. For one night, Wilt was basically Steph Curry at the line. The Knicks were helpless. They threw double teams, triple teams, begged the refs, begged for mercy. Nothing worked. Wilt was too big, too strong, and too determined. By the fourth quarter, the crowd was chanting, "Give it to Wilt!" every possession. His teammates literally fed him the ball every trip down the floor. Kobe Bryant gave us the closest version of this in 2006 when he scored 81, and even that felt like watching a cheat code in real life. But Kobe still fell 19 points short. In today's NBA, no chance. Teams rest stars after blowouts, defenses adapt instantly, and coaches wouldn't let one player hijack the offense for 48 minutes. Wilt's 100 wasn't just a record. It was a statement. I play a different game than you do. And nobody's ever touching it. Wilt Chamberlain, averaging 50 points per game, 1962 season. Now, scoring 100 in one game is wild. But Wilt looked at that and said, why stop there? In the 1961-62 season, he averaged 50.4 points per game across 80 games. Let's be clear, that means every single night for 6 months, Wilt casually dropped 50. Today, if someone scores 50 in one game, ESPN runs highlights for a week. Wilt did it as an average. Here's the math. Wilt had 45 games with 50 or more points that season. That's not a typo. 45. He even had a stretch of 7 straight games with at least 50. For comparison, James Harden's 36.1 per game in 2019 was considered one of the greatest scoring seasons of all time. Michael Jordan peaked at 37, Kobe at 35, LeBron at 31. Wilt made those look like warm-up numbers. How? First, he never came off the floor. That same season, Wilt averaged 48.5 minutes per game, more than regulation, because he literally played every minute, every overtime. No rest days, no load management. Could anyone ever touch this? Nope. Not in today's NBA, where even the best scorers take games off and defenses are built around analytics. Wilt's 50 per game is untouchable. It's not a record. It's a myth that actually happened. John Stockton, career assists, 15,806. Now let's move from Wilt's God mode scoring to a different kind of dominance. John Stockton, the man who owns passing like Wilt owned scoring. Stockton finished his career with 15,806 assists. That's not just first place. That's first place by a mile. To put it into perspective, Jason Kidd, second all-time, had 12,091. That's over 3,700 fewer. That's an entire Hall of Fame career's worth of assists between them. The closest active player, Chris Paul, is still more than 3,000 short, and he's basically on his retirement lap. Trae Young and Luka Doncic would need to average 10-plus assists every season for nearly 2 decades to even come close. And that's assuming perfect health, no injuries, and no off years. Stockton wasn't flashy. No behind-the-back trickery, no viral highlights, just precision. His pick and roll with Karl Malone was a cheat code. Year after year, season after season, Stockton churned out 10 assists a night like he was punching a time clock. He played 19 years, missed barely any games, and built a record that's so out of reach, you almost forget how insane it is. Wilt owned the scoring book, Stockton owned the passing book, and nobody's rewriting it. John Stockton, career steals, 3,265. As if 15,806 assists weren't enough, Stockton decided to be greedy and take another crown. 3,265 career steals. That's dominance on both sides of the ball. Stockton wasn't the fastest guy. He wasn't the tallest, but his timing was elite. His instincts were ridiculous. And most importantly, he just never missed games. Chris Paul again is the closest active name, but he's not within striking distance. Today's players don't chase steals like Stockton. Coaches tell guys not to gamble. Teams prioritize conserving energy for offense. Stockton didn't care. He just did it every night, for 19 years. His steals record is like his assists record, not just untouchable, but unthinkable. Stockton may not have looked like a superstar, but he left the game with two of the most unbreakable records ever. Bill Russell, 11 championships. From 1957 to 1969, Bill Russell did the impossible, 11 championships in 13 seasons. That's not a record. That's a dynasty. Jordan has 6, Magic has 5, LeBron has 4, Curry has 4, nobody even comes close. Russell's Celtics were a machine. Defense, rebounding, unselfish offense. They set the standard for winning. And Russell was the heart of it. In Game 7s, in the finals, in every clutch moment, he delivered. Could anyone match 11 rings today? Absolutely not. Free agency makes dynasties unstable. Stars leave, trades happen, rival super teams pop up. The Celtics of the 60s didn't have to deal with that. Russell's 11 rings are a time capsule, a reminder of an era where one man defined winning. And that bar? It's too high for anyone to ever reach. AC Green, 1,192 consecutive games. AC Green wasn't the flashiest player. He wasn't dropping 50. He wasn't collecting steals like Stockton, but his superpower was durability. From 1986 to 2001, he played 1,192 consecutive games, 16 years without missing a single game. No load management, no injuries that sidelined him, no excuses. Today, stars miss games for rest, for injuries, for caution. AC Green didn't. He showed up every night, no matter what. That streak is unbreakable in today's NBA. Even LeBron, who's one of the most durable athletes ever, has missed tons of games. Kawhi Leonard? Forget it. Anthony Davis? He'd miss 1,192 games before playing them. AC Green's Iron Man streak isn't just impressive, it's impossible to repeat in an era where teams actively want players to sit out. Scott Skiles, 30 assists in one game. December 30th, 1990, Magic vs. Nuggets. Scott Skiles, a name casual fans barely remember, goes into the record books forever, 30 assists in one game. Think about that. 30 buckets came directly off his passes. Most players are thrilled with 10. 15 is huge. 20 is insane. Skiles went for 30. The closest since is 24. And that's still 6 away. In today's NBA, with faster pace and more threes, you'd think someone could challenge it. But nope. Teams share the ball too much. One guy doesn't control every possession like Skiles did that night. Scott Skiles isn't a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have a statue, but he has one record that nobody else will touch. Klay Thompson, 37 points in a quarter. January 23, 2015, Warriors vs. Kings. Klay Thompson scores 37 points in the third quarter alone. That's more than some teams score in a half. He went 13 for 13, including 9 threes. He didn't just get hot, he became a human flamethrower. The second most points in a quarter is 33, still short, and Klay's perfection that night makes it untouchable. Nobody can replicate being that hot for 12 minutes straight. It was lightning in a bottle, a one-night supernova, and nobody's breaking it. Wilt Chamberlain, 55 rebounds in a game. Back to Wilt. Because, of course. On November 24, 1960, he grabbed 55 rebounds in a single game. Today's leaders barely hit 15 a night. Even Dennis Rodman, the rebounding god of the modern era, never came close to 55. The game has changed. More threes, fewer missed shots, less chaos in the paint. Nobody's even attempting 55 rebounds in today's NBA. Wilt's 55 isn't just a record. It's a flex that reminds everyone he was playing basketball on God mode. Rasheed Wallace, 41 technical fouls in a season. Finally, let's end with chaos. Rasheed Wallace, in 2000 to 2001, collected 41 technical fouls. That's almost one every other game. Every whistle, every call, Sheed had something to say. Ball don't lie wasn't just a catchphrase. It was his lifestyle. He got ejected constantly, but still kept playing huge minutes. Here's the kicker. The NBA changed the rules. Now players get suspended after 16 techs, which means nobody's even allowed to catch Sheed's record. Rasheed Wallace didn't just argue with refs, he argued his way into immortality. Which one of these records do you think is the most impossible? Drop your pick in the comments. And hey, if you think someone in today's NBA could break one of them, I want to hear your argument.